How long you think it was gonna take before we got here? Now you gotta prove yourself all over again. Come on.
Ain't nobody coming, I've been gunning from 100 yards, trying to hit my mark, missing every time. This will be the start of the picture perfect. Watch you.
Hello.
Good morning, Mr. We got smoked out yesterday, so today we're coming back. We wouldn't let you down. We will give you our full allotment of picks here at Horse Racing Radar TV. I have to tell you, Charles, my internet's acting a little funky right now. My signal is only on one little arch on the whatever that thing is, like the what is that?
Antenna, a little antenna, I think, or something like that, right? Whatever.
Yeah. But right now, it's kind of one bar in it on me. So if I go out, Charles, you're going to have to take command of the ship. Well,
I have command of the ship anyway, so it's okay.
Indeed, you do, Charles. So today, a big, nice card today over at Belmont Park. Also a decent card today over at Laurel Park, which is the free track today over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. There is a link down in the description below. You see it over here, Laurel Park. Go out down to that, hit that link so they know where you're coming from. And of course, we'll have everything, a whole ton of races tomorrow. You know, whenever you have one of these Triple Crown or Belmont Stakes races, it brings out races everywhere, good races across the country, sea to sea, border to border, and even up into Canada at Woodbine tomorrow. So make sure you head over to Guaranteed Tip Sheet tomorrow for all of your Belmont Stakes action and everything else from coast to coast, border to border, and even more, Charles. All right. Well, you ready today to take on the Belmont card? And you said that you think the Belmont card can go one a couple ways.
Yeah, it could go all chalk. Today, 100% it could go all chalk. Or, you could have an upset here and there. I think all favorites, even though most of them are probably my top pick, I think they could win. But there's some things, like you said, and even earlier too. A lot of things could happen on the back end of it, always.
Yeah, I feel like you do have a lot of horses that are logical choices, but behind them, all sorts of different things are possible.
Yes.
So in race number one, probably one of those races where a lot of things are possible because it is 6 furlongs maiden, the special weight, $75,000 for a purse of $75,000. Charles, normally we go through a whole routine of different simulations and so forth to kind of get a sense of what the data tells us. But in this case, there's too many first-time starters to go ahead through that data. But we still have a profile of a 6 furlong winner. And a 6 furlong winner on the main Belmont track, which it looks like just one sweeping U, does favor early speed. 37% of the time, those horses go wire to wire. It's a little bit of a rail discount for the first-time starter, flying in style. 2 through 7, they play fair. 8 and out, they get a bonus, Charles. And like I said, we don't have any data, so the only thing we have are picks.
Yeah, and, looks like we pretty much agreed on this, at least the top 3. The 6 itself is my top choice. This horse ran even last time out. And for a maiden, that's okay. You got a hot jockey trainer combo in the last 14 days. Rice gets 15% when she puts him in a maiden special weight. So she's going to have this horse ready to rock and roll here. Plus, the 3 horse is my second choice. This one has speed and it's well bet last time out. It adds Lasix today. The trainer gets 15% with that angle when he adds Lasix for the first time. And then I'm going to go with some beginners. The 7 horse, bred for the speed, 100%. Solid works, got a hot jockey last 7 days. So a lot of good things looking for that horse. The 2, the Dam has 6 winners from 8 starters. That's probably most likely 100% because usually some breeders do not race the fillies. They use them for breeding stock. So sometimes you don't get a full racing out of all your babies. So anyway, we got and of course this horse is actually bred for this, and you got some solid works in that horse. So those are my top 4 picks.
You're going to start off at a pick 5. You're going to try to hit a home run to start the day, eh?
I'm going to try to hit a home run. Now, it could go super chalky, too. That's why I kept it down to a small pick of 5 here. I went with my top 3 picks in this race, hoping I could get a price here. And then my top 2 picks in the second and third leg. And then my fourth leg, I got the top 4 picks.
So that's pick 5. You only have 4 races, though, Charles. Are you
Oh,
Charles
right.
Barkley or are you Charming
Oh,
Charles?
yeah, I'm Charles Barkley.
Because 3 words and he'll give you 7. So you need one more race of picks. So what do you got on the back end?
1, 2, 2, 2. Okay, 2, 6. Oh, and right after race leg 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Race leg 4. I got a single in there. The 1.
You got the 1 in between, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
The 1, 2. So between the 2, 6 and the 1, 3, 7, and 8. Is that right?
Okay, so I got let me see. 1, 2.
I hope this is instilling a lot of confidence in everybody.
I know. Well, I just forgot to put it in there. The leg 4 is a single. The 1.
All right. So in here you have the 1 horse, and I think that's in Italian is probably that horse, right?
That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would guess. All
Yeah.
right. For me in the opener today, as they get back to racing after Canada invaded the country with all of their smoke from their arsonist forest fires. Thank you, John. The 3 horse is going to get the first call for me. Showed speed in its debut as the beaten favorite, as you mentioned. Charles going to get that first dose of Lasix after fading the first time around. Since getting that Lasix, Charles, you look at those workouts, bullet, and go back to work today. Newport Bridge, the 6 horse, did run the top last race speed figure last out. Did so with much better fractions and big improvement in career start number 2. A similar improvement today is going to be more than enough to get the W here. Fast Buck Freddy, that's the first timer today. Consistent workout pattern. A couple of bullet workouts mixed in there. Not a bullet and go, but maybe the best of the first time starters. And I'm also going to go with that rail horse, Flying in Style. It's another first time starter. Do like the May 24th bullet workout. So I'm going to do $1 exact the key box, the 3 with the 1, the 6, and the 7. Hopefully I get the best order of odds and can start to make a little bit of money towards our $100 budget. That's what we get every single day here. And then we have to make that budget last all the way through the card. The next race for us, Charles, is going to be race number 2, El Doso. Number 2 is 6 furlongs on the inner turf course, Charles. At 6 furlongs on the inner turf course, you are simply looking for horses in the 10 races. Tactical speed usually does okay. 4 of those horses out of the 10 so far have gone wire to wire, Mr. Charles. Looking at the post position bias, we see there's a strong inside 3, 4 through 7 play under par, 8 and out play fair. Charles, this time around, we do get the opportunity to go through all of our simulations to get a sense of what, who might do what and where. Just a real quick rundown on what the simulations mean. If I have, all right, so I don't have anything right here. All right, so race number 2, we have this one. Race number 2, here we have race number 2. There you go. 1,000 simulations for using speed figures. These are the lower the odds, the better. 1,000 simulations using early pace numbers to get a sense of who will be where at the quarter-mile marker. And then based upon that pace, which horses are likely to get a very comfortable trip, one that mirrors some of their winning efforts. The higher the C-zone, the score, the better. The only place on the planet you can get any of this is right here. So make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button. Follow us on all our social sites. Charles, what do you see in the data?
Well, what I see here is that 3 horse has got a 35% chance of having that lead at the quarter pole. Probably most likely going to have that lead, but you got the 2 horse that's going to have a say in that with 22% chance of having that lead. And you got maybe one other, maybe the 4 horse might want to try to push them along. When it comes to simulation odds and for overlays, we got that 1 horse, basically even money, and then slightly over even money on the morning line. I don't know if you're going to get over even money on the morning line, but I think the 1 is the strongest one of the pair of the 2 of 1 and 1A. The 4 is 4 to 1 on our line, but the morning line says 12 to 1. So there's a nice little overlay there. And that is it when it comes to overlays on our simulation odds.
Yes, and plenty of dark green for C-zone. So it should be a race that most of the horses in this spot are comfortable running. We also put together what I call the way to the winner circle worksheet. This is an indication of how horses have run their best over here, how they've won. The E-horses are pilots. They want to be on the lead, can be lead dependent. The EPs, compiler or co-pilot. Ps are co-pilots. They don't want to be on the front. PCs are versatile types. They can be front, middle, or back. The Cs are the closers, of course. They sit in the coach. As far as the early speed out of that 4, 8, and 9, you want to see one of them on the lead, and it looks like the 4 horse is going to be up on there, although that pressure horse 3-0 will be right behind it. The 8 and the 9, they might not get off to such a happy start. Could discourage that duo, and maybe they might not show up. As far as the late speed is concerned, the entry scores best for both, with Bold Journey, the one that you mentioned you thought was the best of the two, has a pretty good advantage, 7 points over everybody else. The early speed, late speed combination also favors the one that you felt was the best, Charles. Bold Journey, 5 points better than a whole host of horses behind it. Let's take a quick look and see where they are. They're not at the gates yet, so we probably have time to run through our picks real quick in race number 2.
Yeah, my top choice is the one. I think he's the top choice. Like I said, he's got that tactical speed. I think we just shown that he could actually probably sit pretty close to those leaders, and he does have a strong kick at the end. So I see that happening. And Mike gets 15% when the second time he puts him on turf. So you got some good angles here with this horse. Everything looks like it's setting up for him. The 2 horse is my second choice. He's got another one that has some of that tactical speed. Ran 3rd last time out. This is his 3rd start after a layoff, and the trainer gets 22% with that angle. So that's another good angle. The horse to look at. The 5 is my third choice. You got a hot jockey the last 7 days. Tactical, but more on the closing side on this horse. You got IRAD aboard, so look out for this horse, especially at the end. And another one to look at coming at the end is that 7. The 7 will be closing. This horse had some issues last time out, last start. He bumped, he turned his head at the start. And when you do even turn your head a little bit, that just takes the horse right out of it. Mm-hmm. So that's why I think he'll be there for some of the exotics, I think, this time. But I am going to go with an exacta ice cold 1 on top of the 2.
So real quick, before they get into the gates in the first race, Bold Journey, the 1 horse for me, came real close to winning last out. Going to be better in round 3 off the bench. The rail's hitting at 30%. Cam and Duke, the 4 bullet workout, tie for the top C-zone, as you see over here, and our C-zone score, and upgrades to Jose Ortiz today. Also that overlay. Number 2, Elusive Edge, big improvement in the second race after more than a year in the barn. Looking for more in round 2, looking for more in round 3 today, after a year on the sidelines. And finally, number 5, Winter Sun. Lone 6 furlong Belmont inner turf race was very good. As a bullet work and upgrades to Irad, who's winning just about everything there. I'm going to do a pick 4, 1, 2, 4, 5 with the 2-6, with the 1-4, with the 4-7. Going to try to beat some of those heavy favorites in the back end, including in Italian, although I did include in Italian. Back to race number 1 on our picks, Charles, as they are loading in the gates there at Belmont. 4 horses in right now at 17-1. Right now, that 6 horse is the favorite. Charles's top choice. Irad horse is the 3rd favorite at 3-1. The 7 horse. Ooh, that 6 horse looks nice, gray, shiny. I like the grays, Charles. I bet everybody likes the grays. Ooh, the 7 though looks pretty good. That one's pretty big. It's a little bit bigger than everybody else. It looks like to me, or maybe just longer legs. I'm not sure. So they're all in and they're off. And it is a pretty competitive start here. You do see that first-time starter, that 1, really rallying hard off to the front. The 3 horse, the one I put up on the top, got off to a slow break. So he's going to have to close on this group, and that can happen sometimes. It's funny because he showed speed early on in his career, and then he gets to Lasix. He puts all those bullet workouts in, and then he struggles right out of the gate. Yeah. So right now you have the 6 and the 1. They're duking it out up front as they go through the opening half. I don't have to put any numbers up there yet. They're coming around the bend on the first turn. You have the 6 horse and the 1. They're fighting it out. You got a whole host of horses trying to make their way forward. That 3 horse is going to have to go way wide. Opening quarter in 23-2. So maybe a little bit on the, I don't know if you want to call it the quick side or what for these group, but
probably about average.
The 6 horse is taking control. 3 horses trying to find room. I think he might have a shot to rally for second. It's tough to say here.
7's coming at him in a little bit too. 7 and
the 4 horse is coming
4,
pretty hard
7
too.
And 4.
Yeah, so it's going to go 6. I don't know who's going to get up there for second. Looks like the 4.
4, yeah,
the 4 horse. It's going to go 6, 4, 1, and 3. 6, 4, 1, and 3. So the 4 horse screwing us up a little bit there. The slow start for the 3 horse screwing up its chances there, Charles. You speed horse.
Yeah, that break totally screwed it up for that horse.
You're a speed horse and you don't get out of the gate, you're done.
Yeah.
right? Because as I mentioned, when we look through the way to the winner's circle worksheet for race number 2, horses that like the lead, that don't get the lead, they tend to get discouraged.
At least for me, on my pick 5, the favorite did not win, and I got the co-favorite, I guess it would be.
Mm. All right, now we're going to do race number 3. Hopefully we don't get a favorite there either, Charles. In the third race, it's 1 mile. It is a maiden, $75,000. Purse is 75 grand. If you look at the mile, it's a 1-turn mile. So you have to treat that more like a sprint than you would a route. Would you say that's correct, Charles?
Well, yeah, a mile would be considered a route. 7.5 furlongs is considered a sprint.
But I'm saying a 1-turn mile when you're
A 1-turn mile. It's probably closer to being a sprint than a route.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how I treat them. I feel like speed will hold up a little bit better, and early speed
does
does do well. 1 mile, 1 turn at Belmont. 22% of the time they go wire to wire. Get a little bit of the post positions are mostly fair. You do get a little bit of a barbell at edge. The rail does a little bit better than 2 through 7, and 8 does a little bit better than 2 through 7. So Sissio Bellio might do better than its odds, say a 10-1, thanks to that rail position, Charles. But if we look at the speed for race number 3, who's going to be on the lead? It looks like the Blue Plate Special.
Yeah. Blue Plate Special. What a name, huh?
Well, it goes back to Kmart, right? The Blue Light Special, Blue Plate Special.
Woolworths, right? Too, wasn't it?
I think the Blue Light was I may have been. I mean, Woolworths is
out.
You're outdating me there, Charles.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
I don't think Woolworths has been in business since like Terry was almost not legal to drink.
Right? The 5, yeah, it's going to have a 75% chance of getting the lead at that quarter pole. And I really don't see anyone challenging him that much. Probably the 6 a little bit at 11%. We have simulation odds here. Let's look at this. The 4, slightly under 10-1. We got a 20-1 morning line. That's not too bad. The 5 itself, slightly over even money. You got 3-1 morning line. So that's not too bad in the 7. 4-1, and you got a 6-1 morning line. That's a nice little overlay also.
Yeah, that 5 horse. I'm gonna change my trifecta here.
Oh,
you know what I'm gonna do. So
here we go.
I just screwed up the entire thing for myself, I'm sure. But looking at that 5 horse with that strong chance to get to the lead and that nice overlay, maybe gets to the front and never gives it up. Again, 22% of the horses go wire to wire. So I'm just going to move it from second, give it a shot to win. So what's going to happen now? It's going to get to the lead. It's going to fade at the wire and just get nipped and finish second and kill my trifecta. That's how that always goes. But let's look and see if that's indeed how the race might play out with the race shape. We do see that the 6 horse is a co-pilot. The 5 might not actually want the lead, Charles. It's a pressure type when it runs its best, although it is a maiden special weight race, so you're not quite sure that it's totally married to being on the front. As far as the early speed is concerned, you do see a little bit of an advantage for that 5 horse over the 6 horse. And then as we look at the late pace numbers in here, Charles, we do see that Woodside Warrior and Battle of Lexington, that's right by your house there, Charles. Those 2 have a little bit of an advantage over everybody else. The early speed, late speed combination goes 3-5, 7, 6, 2, 1, 4. So the 2 favorites might, they might be a little bit tested here today, Charles. And something that we talked about. We both like the 6 and the 2 in that order early on.
Yeah, I do like the 6 first, but I think it's right now on paper, it kind of looks like a 2-horse race, but once those gates open up, sort of like what you just said about the 5, it could change the whole thing. Depends how big of a lead this horse gets. Mm-hmm. The 6 is my top choice, though. He ran 3rd last time out. Well bet. You got Todd and Irad combo, probably one of the best combos out there. And this horse definitely has speed to at least keep up and sit really close to this horse. Now, the key to this race is the 6. He has to stay close to that 5 for this race to come out to where we're actually thinking. The 2 horse is my second choice. Tactical speed. This horse has a 25. The trainer gets 25% when he goes from sprint to route. So he totally fits with this group. My third choice is the 7. This is his 3rd start after a layoff. Second time with Lasix. The trainer gets 18% when he goes from turf to dirt. So you got some solid works on this horse. Everything looks fine, ready to go. And then there's that 5. ran third last time. He got claimed last time by Dutro, which if everyone thinks back in the past, he did do very well at the claiming. And this horse was well bet last time. So I wonder what he really saw in this horse. This horse is something special, probably. And but we'll see how this race breaks out. That's my fourth and final choice.
Yeah, the 6-horse was a favorite last time out in its debut. Got beat, a bunch of good workouts, getting ready, and going to switch to Irad, who, as I mentioned, is winning everything so far at Belmont. Rafua, the 2-horse, Rafua, yeah, we'll go with Rafua. Did beat the 6-horse when they met 2 races ago. Bombed in its last race. Maybe just didn't like the slop. I'm not sure, but a lot of regression last out. Very concerning. Maybe the fast track, the regression goes away. Blue Plate Special, as you mentioned, Charles moving up from maiden claiming 40 off the claim, but did manage to top everybody else on the charts with the speed figure, and does have 5 workouts between races, so should continue to be fit there for Mr. Dutro. First time around the track for the new barn. And then Muggsy Fury. We're going to give the first-time starter a shot here, Charles, based upon that May 15th Saratoga work. It was a 4-furlong bullet. As I mentioned, I just changed up my trifecta. 256 over the – it's supposed to be 2-6 over here, not the 5-6. So I'm going to make sure I get that right. Over the 2-6, over the 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6, Mr. Charles. All right. So
you know that you just screwed up your whole trifecta, right?
Yeah, I told you the 5's going to finish second by a nose.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to finish second.
So right. It's going to almost win. So go ahead and bet everything on the 2 to place.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you can't go wrong because I've made a change now twice. And every time I make a change, it seems to come back to haunt me exactly the opposite of what I hoped would happen.
That's right.
They both came back to win, beat me. All right, so we're going to go forward to race number 4. This one is a mile on the turf. Hey, it's the first of the 5 stakes races on the card today. It is just a game stakes. It's a grade 1 for $500,000. So a real race right here, Charles. No question about it, though. A little bit of a short field, 5-horse field in this one. At a mile on the turf course, there are a couple of those races today. 27% of the time, horses go wire to wire. Tactical speed does okay. You get a rail and 8-out discount. Post number 2 and 3 have done the best so far. 4 through 7 have been fair. Again, only a 5-horse field in here, Charles, for race number 4. As far as the early speed is concerned, looks like a couple of them can get out to the front, but that heavy favorite's going to be your likely leader.
Yeah, the basic 61% chance. The horse is going to probably most likely get the lead at the quarter pole. And I do see the 3 sitting right off its tail. Probably within a length of this horse. I see it going all the way around the track just like that, just like a merry-go-round.
Just a 1-2 way all the way around the track?
All the way around. I think it's for 3rd and 4th and so on. Who's going to do what, I think. But simulation odds, I mean, everything's about where it should be. The 1 is about where it should be. Yeah, everybody's right there where it should go.
David Aragona setting a good line. He's one of the best line makers anyway. As far as our way to the winner circle worksheet, what it's going to tell us is that in race number 4, the 1 horse is your lone speed horse out there, the E. Although everybody except the 2, New Year's Eve, has some versatility. So I'd expect the 1 to get to the front, the 3, 4, and 5 to chase, and then the 2 to try to close. I think that's how that race will probably look. It does look like the 3-horse will probably decide the right shotgun. If it wanted to, could put a little bit of pressure on In Italian. I don't know that it wants to do that because you do see a little drop off in late pace. So I think Spenderella is going to probably want to save a little. Wakanaka, Charles, that horse has a little bit more late speed than everybody else. We put together our combination, the front half and the back half of the race. We do see In Italian with a little bit of an edge. We'll see what happens when that race comes to a close, but I do expect that you'll see that race lay out just like we thought it might, but you never know until they run it.
Yeah, like I said, I think the merry-go-round is going to be like that, especially for the top 2 spots. The 1's going to go out in front. You beat it In Italian. I think anybody that finishes ahead of In Italian, you're the winner. So
probably
Brown gets 24% of 46 plus days rest. This horse does this all the time. You got Brown and Irad combo. The 3-horse, like I said, probably the best chance of this horse is staying within a length, maybe a length and a half at most from this horse. and try to make one big move on her, I should say. I mean, if he can, he can. Ran second last time. You got Graham Motion and Tyler Gaffalion, excuse me, riding on board this horse. The 5 is my third choice. This horse ran a third last time out, second start after a layoff. Brown gets 29% with that angle, and you got Pratt aboard, so that's a great combo, Brown and Pratt.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got the 2, probably the longest shot on the board would be at the time of the race. This horse ran third last 2 times. This third start after a layoff. Walsh gets 19% with that angle, so not too bad. And Luis Saez is a back aboard on this horse, so he's probably one of the top riders in the country too, at least top 5. So why not?
I think the one horse in Italian probably gonna. I don't know if half 1 to 2 is anything I ever really want to bet, but in Italian has run the highest last race speed figure 3 races in a row, so that's pretty tough to beat. Topping triple digits in all of them. Still a bullet workout on the inner turf course since, so another good race is coming for In Italian. Wakanaka finished second and ahead of In Italian in this race last year, Charles. Consistently puts out high quality start after high quality start, and look for that one to be better in the second off a layoff and pass Spenderella late as she tries to chase down In Italian, but tires. Spenderella 4 wins in 2 seconds in her 6 career starts. She likes to be forwardly placed, as we mentioned, not league dependent, which is a plus, I think. And her resume suggests a little bit of an improvement in round 2 off the bench. Finally, Speak of the Devil, raced competitively versus these horses a couple of times already, including getting the better of my top 2 picks in her first race after arriving from France. But since then, she's regressed a little bit. I'm going to do an exact key box, see if maybe that 4 horse can pull off the upset because the 1 and 3 go too fast. And maybe I get lucky in the 5 finish second and get a nice exacta in a race where the favorite gets topped. I don't know if that'll happen, though. Charles is certainly hoping it doesn't happen with his pick 5 still alive. In the 5th race at Belmont today, again, another one of these 1 mile route races that should be treated a little bit closer to a sprint with the 1 turn in there. Allowance $50,000. The purse is $65,000. As we mentioned, the kind of horse that typically wins at a mile on the dirt course does have early speed, with almost a quarter of them taking them from gate to wire. Mostly fair post positions, although you get a little bit of an edge on the inside and on the outside. So Arabeto could get a little bit of an edge. As far as the race 5, our simulations are concerned, Charles, we see that there is a little bit of speed on the outside, but maybe From Another Mother could put a little bit of pressure into that.
Yeah. You got the 6 horse at 66% chance of having that lead at the quarter pole, and probably going to, but like you said, that 4 horse is probably going to push that horse a little bit at 17% chance of having that lead. Mm-hmm. And you even got that 7 that might have a say in it, so it depends how that 7 breaks. As long as that 6 breaks good, I think he probably will have that lead. Simulation odds when it comes to this race, the 4 horse. Even money, and you got morning line at 3.5 to 1, not too bad. And then you got that 7 horse 3 to 1, and you got 6 to 1 morning line, which is not too bad also.
Plenty of dark green in the C zones too. Only From Another Mother and Ice Road not scoring well there. And yet I have From Another Mother at the top of my picks. Our way to the winner circle pace sheet for the 5th race. We see that you have the 4, the 6, the 7, and the 8, all kind of by themselves, soloed up, and then all the others, the 1, the 2, the 3, and the 5 are closers. When I see a race shape like this, so more than half of the field, about 3/4 of the field wants to be middle back, that should favor the horses that get to the front. That's going to be unquestionably Makar. The 7 horse, that PC type, could go over there as well. Those front 2, though, look a little bit faster than everybody else. Late speed belongs to From Another Mother. That one has an 11-point advantage over everybody else. So if it can tuck in right behind the leaders there, Charles has a really good shot to run by him at the end. In fact, if you add up the front and the back part of the race, you do got From Another Mother and Thunder Rayan as your top 2 choices. Who are your top choices?
Well, I do not have that 4 at all.
Ooh, you're going to regret. You know what, though, Charles? Before we go on, your picks don't make any sense to me. Your bets.
Huh?
No, because you have the 8, the 3, the 7, and the 6, and here you have the 5, 7, 3, 5, 7, and 8. So you don't want the 6?
Well, see, something happened there. I'll have to look back at it. I'll have to look back at it.
And then on your try box, you got the 2, 3, 4, and 7, and you don't have the 2 or the 4 in your picks.
Huh.
So you're really kind of making me. Are you just trying to? Are you trying to do? You have something on every horse, so you can say I got the winner.
No, it should. No, the 5 should not be in there.
All right. So you want your 4 picks there, is what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So 3, 6, 7, and 8, and then how about on your and you want to box your picks too?
Yeah.
Or your trifecta. All right, I'll take care of that. But go ahead.
Oh, what the heck was going on there?
Yeah, I don't think anybody else does either. But go ahead.
Well, you know what? You know what happened to me when I was doing all my picks itself bets. I messed up and I put 4th race with the 5th race, and I think that's what I'm doing here.
Sure. But anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, I got in this 8th race. I like the 8 horse. Well bet last time out. Clement gets a 19% with 90 plus days.
And blindfold is scary. That's the worst part. He's throwing darts and, what do they throw hatchets too? So he's throwing darts and hatchets blindfolded.
But I'm so good at that. Mm-hmm. That's so good. Why not?
Yeah. Fire away. Keep going with your darts.
The 8 horse also gets Irad. And you got this horse has that tactical speed, I think, to sit close enough, like 3rd or 4th, to make one big run. The 3 horse is my second choice. This horse ran 3rd last time out. You got Todd and Tyler combo, which is not a bad combo at all. This horse also has that tactical speed to sit close enough to make one big run. My 3rd choice is that 7. Now, 7 is the interesting horse. This horse drops in class, ran 4th last time, but only got beat by a length and a quarter. This we got a hot trainer last 14 days. He totally fits with this group, and I think he could sit right off that speed, right real close, and make one big run. And then I have the final. My pick is the 6 horse, which is the speed horse that will be out there winging it. Might hang on there for a piece of this pie. He won last time out. He got claimed last time out. Totally fits with this group. So there we have it.
And are you sure about your pick 4 and your try box? I think we got the try box right, but I am very curious to see if the rest of your picks are right.
Oh, they're right.
All right, there we go. So I'm going to go with From Another Mother, just because I wanted to say that as many times as possible, Charles. But does have that strong sim overlay. Did have that 5-point early pace rate pace advantage over everybody else. And the last time out, I think you can. I think it ran better than it probably looks on paper. Ran faster fractions, and the resume says there's a 2 out of 3, 66% chance you're going to see some significant improvement in race 2 off the bench. Thunder ran better pace numbers through the first half mile. It was also better than it looks on paper too, with stronger fractions at 1 mile than the horse ran at 7 furlongs. A lot of times when I read through my notes when the day is over, I see faster fractions. Faster fractions is a common theme amongst the winners. Number 8, Endowed, won the lone race where the horse came off of a layoff. That was at Belmont. That was at a mile, just like today. It has a lot of works getting ready, so should be fit. Finally, number 3, Long Term, never out of the money in 4 races at the distance. 4 times out, 1 win, a couple of seconds, and a third. Does have some back speed, so maybe the 3 horse can be part of the early race. I'm going to do a pick 4. I like the 4 and the 7 up top, 2, 5, 6, and 8, 2, 5, 11, and then the 4, 7 on the back end. In race number 6, I think we have plenty of time to do race 6, right, Charles? We're about 8 minutes away still.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think last time they were a little bit slow getting to the gates. Everybody's taking their cue from Charlestown, from Horseshoe, Indianapolis, and from Gulfstream Park. Race 6, 6 furlongs, optional claiming 62.5, non-winners of 2 lifetime. Purse is a nice $100,000 race. So almost a stakes race in terms of its purse money there. So you're going to get some good horses at 6 furlongs. You do one horse that has speed, 37% go wire to wire from go to photo. They're on the lead. You do get a little bit of a rail discount. So Cazadero could have a little bit of a problem. 2 through 7, that group plays fair. 8 and out. Yes, indeed. You get a little bit of a bonus, Charles. So just from a track bias standpoint in race number 6, you're looking for outside speed. And boy, it doesn't look like there's much of it. At least the 2's taking all of it on the inside.
Yeah, the 2's got all of it. And even I put on my notes, this is the horse to catch. The 2 horse, 91% chance of having that lead at the quarter pole. Although, I think he can be back. I think he might back up at the end, but he's going to be very tough, and he better not have a super easy lead, or they're all going to be in trouble, I think. The simulation odds, it looks like, what do we have here? The 7, slightly over even money. We have 4-1 morning line, and then the 8, slightly under 3-1. We have a 6-1 morning line. That's not too bad. That's a nice overlay there.
Yeah, look out for this 2 horse there, Charles. That really strong C-zone, really strong chance to get the lead. Fair odds. That's a horse that should be very competitive from the time the gate opens to the time the photographer clicks the camera in there. But a lot of dark green on the C-zone scores. Our pace setup shows us that the 10 horse might actually be the one that gets the lead here, Charles. High connection. Although, it's not really got the speed figures, but that's where it wants to be. So maybe one that goes out, cheap speed, sets tone, and then falls off. The 2, the 7, and the 8, they're all pilot, co-pilot types. So any one of them can be on the lead or just sit right off the pace and let folks go a little bit too fast. Although Rotny looks like it is absolutely the fastest. So the Dots Dollar and a few others are going to give it plenty of competition in here. There's plenty of pace to get started here. Could give one like Listen to Your Heart. Woo, look at that late pace number there, Charles. 100. That's a stakes caliber type number. And that's an EP type. So if he's sitting right off that lead coming out of that turn, down the stretch they come, you might not be able to hold that one off. And the early pace, late pace numbers say it is the best horse in the race combined. A little bit of a deep field, going to be a little bit back. So it might have to weave its way through traffic there, Charles, which could be a concern for me. Let's look at is not a concern for you.
No, I think it's setting up almost perfect for the 7. It won last 2 times, has the speed to keep up, and Katie Davis, she definitely knows this gelding. She's done excellent with this horse, so I believe she'll have this horse in the right spot once again for the winner's circle. The 8 horse is another tough cookie that's going to be sitting probably in approximately the same spot. Ran 2nd last time out. It's got some tactical speed. Rice gets 20% with a 3rd start after a layoff, so that's what we have here. Then I think the 2 was going to fade back to at least 3rd. Won last time. Definitely has the speed to steal it, but we'll see about that. And then I have the 10 as my final pick here. This horse does drop in class, though. So it's going to help him keep a little closer, cuts back in distance. So I think he totally fits with this group.
My friend Scary says he's going to go to 4 High Oak. Going to give it another shot here. It was good. Fell off. Mentally hasn't been the same. Hopefully Belmont plays the role of psychologist, sports psychologist with his horse today. I like the 8 horse.
Did I say one thing here?
Say whatever you want.
The 1 warm-ups right now in the horses, the 2 broke off by itself and is going at a really good pace. So that tells me that they're setting this horse to go out to the front. That's what you usually do to get him going.
Who's the jockey on the 2 horse? It looks like it's Junior Alvarado. Yeah. I know from talking with Jose, he said he really likes to do that when he feels like the horse is comfortable. Mm-hmm. All right. So anyway, in the 6 race for me, I like the 8 horse in here. Dots Dollar has the outside speed, fits the track bias. I don't believe the speed number regression in its last. Sometimes you have to kind of double check those numbers. Ran faster fractions, and when it squared up against that 2 horse, smoked it. So I think you're going to see a better race than maybe some of the numbers suggest from Dots Dollar. Rotny did run the top last race speed figure and does have some blowout early speed mid-race numbers, so should be up on the front, competitive from go to photo. On a fast track like today, 7 races, Charles won 6 of them in a second in the other. Distance 4 times out, 6 times out, 4 wins in a second. And 3rd up off the layoff, your favorite handicapping angle. 6 horse, Amundsen, dropping from $100,000 non-graded stakes race. 2nd off the claim for trainer Rob Atras, who learned pretty well from Robertino Diodoro in the claiming game. I expect that horse to be forwardly placed too. Does win 29% off to claim second time out, but the barn is kind of cold to start this year. And then finally, tough call for me over that 7 with all those closing ability and Dream Shake. But I'm going to go with the 5-horse Dream Shake as my fourth choice in here. That horse was a legitimate graded stakes horse. Didn't really win them any of those races at the graded level, but was second, third. So it is a legitimate competitive grade 3 type horse. Been off for 13 months though, but coming back gelded. So you know he's going to be mad, right? If I don't win this one, what are they going to do to me next? And does have some pretty fast work. So that suggests to me he doesn't want anything else snipped. He's going to be ready and is stakes caliber for sure. Let's see. We got enough time probably to set up race number 7, Charles, because last time out, it took them a little bit to actually get their way to the track and to the gates. Race 7 in this 11 race card, 7 furlongs on the turf, allowance $80,000 for New York State breds. 7 furlongs on the Wiedener track there. Charles does favor stalkers. 14 races so far, not one has gone wire to wire. So the one that gets out to the front, you might want to fade there. There is an inside 3 and 8 and out bias. The 4 through 7 get a little bit squeezed. Charles, as we mentioned, the speed might not be the most favorable thing in race number 7. So take a look out for maybe Be the Boss. We both think he's going to be on the front. I don't know what's wrong with us.
I mean, especially with the 14 that was being scratched.
Mm-hmm.
I think now it's setting up for this horse to go, to the front all the way. It's like come and catch me if you can type of thing. 27% chance of having the lead, and now with that 14 being out, is probably closer to 40% chance of having that lead. So the 7 might have a say in that. We're right now with 19% chance, but we'll see. Simulation odds, we got the 2 barely under 3-1. We got 3-1 morning line. We have the 5 itself, even money, and 5-1 morning line. I have a feeling we might see about 3-1 on the Boss.
But, and Mr. Kringle also gets a little bit of an overlay.
Yeah,
and again, a lot of speed in here too. So Be the Boss does have that early speed, does have a good C-zone, got a nice overlay. We've seen that trio, that trifecta of data points come home winners very frequently. In race number 7, interesting in that everybody wants to close except the 5, 4, and 7, Charles. So it would be an opportunity for one of those 3 horses to go wire to wire, particularly if they can set an even tempo. Although you got to think that the trainers also have done their homework. Somebody out of that group is probably going to send. Maybe that 7 horse could be on the lead, the 8 and the 5. There's a bunch, though. It is pretty competitive, except for the 10, Noble Huntsman. So it might be a little bit quicker early pace than you expect in here. Late speed belongs to 11, but again, pretty competitive. And then the early speed, late speed combination. Again, 6, 7, 8 horses look like they can be very competitive with a thorough, complete race from beginning to end, Charles. I think this is one of those races where you take your shot, because if it goes a little bit chalky the rest of the way, this might be one where you get your money. You got a couple of seconds here to get
my best bet of the day.
So get through with your best bet before they get to racing in race 2.
This is my best bet of the day.
Or tell us why.
Well, I think this whole race 100% is setting up for this horse. Before the scratches, I would probably not have said this, but he's going to go whatever you want to call it, gate to wire, wire to wire.
Go to photo. That's the HRT.
Photo.
Yes.
This is what this horse is going to do. He's going to get a comfortable lead, especially if that 7 does not get within a length of this horse. If he does not get within a length, it's over. That's how I see it.
All right.
So the horse is won last time. He has the speed to steal it. Second start after a layoff for Maker. Maker gets 20% with that angle, and you get IRAD. The 2 horses, my second choice, ran second the last 2 times. Well bet. Casey gets 15% when he goes from route to sprint. And the 7 horse, he drops in class. Got to toss the last one out. Does have speed to keep up, and has Lasix today. The 3 horse is my final choice. Ran third last time out. Hot jockey trainer combo in the last 14 days. Third start after a layoff. And Rice gets 20% with that angle.
Pick 5 all, 5 6 2 7
Yeah.
1 7. Well, they're
That's
loading up for race number 2, so I'll get to my. Well, while they're getting paid, I'll run through my picks real quick here. In race,
last horse in.
all right, the last horse is in. All right, so forget it.
Last
Then.
right here.
Let's see how this race goes. Then, well, there's still a few out.
No,
Real
he
quick,
backed out.
race number 5, Be the Boss, the 5 horse. Just ran his best race, first one after 6-month layoff. First with Irad. Turf is the question. 3 times, only a third. Irad stays on. 11, Oratus, won the maiden special weight in its second try. First after layoff, cutting back in distance could help here. Number 2, Conman, cut back does probably help this horse. Better 2 and 4 furlong pace numbers last out. And then the 8 horse, Atherny, 1, 2 of 3 on Belmont turf at the distance. And then the 4th in the other race. So almost 100% in the money. Pick 4, 1, 2, 4, 5, 2, 6, 1, 4, 4, 7. So how about that? I got that in. Race number 2. Oh, no, that's the wrong race. Hold on. That was going to be race number 7. I had a no bet in race number 7.
The 1 broke very bad in this race.
Did he?
Very bad.
Very badly. All right, so let's take a look at the race right now.
He's coming up from the back, but he's got a lot of
the
work.
3 horse on the lead at a bomb price. And there's 2 horses in that mix too, right up front there. And then around the turn they come. It does look like the 2 horse on the rail has taken over the race. The 3 horse is trying to stay in touch with it. So he's losing a little bit of ground, but he's hanging tough at 37-1. The 1 horse is just storming from the back, Charles. Looks like that
Oh, my goodness.
didn't really make a difference. So it's going to go 1, 1A. The 2 1 horses are going to be there. And then the 2. So 1, 1A, 2, 7. 1,
that
1A,
break did not matter at all.
Nope, not at all. And then you got the favorite again, Charles.
I know.
Like we said, chalky day, perhaps, right?
Yeah, most likely could be a chalky day. But that's why I didn't want on my original pick 5, just a $18 pick 5, because it's going to be chalk.
Because you might not get $18 back the way it's going right now.
Scary,
so back to race number 7, our friend Scary Creations. He has or was that race number 6 we just did, Charles?
No, that was race number 7.
Was race 7. He likes the 7 horse, Dr. Settle's Dream, as his top pick there. Thinking he can sit in second and get the first jump on the closers. Yeah, I do like that angle too. When you have a horse like that that's got some closing kick.
That's why I said he has to be within a length of that horse pretty much all the way around to do that. If anyone's going to do it, it will be the 7.
4 races to go on the and they're all stakes races in here, Charles. I know tomorrow they have like a big guaranteed pick 4. I was hoping they had one today, but they don't. But I'm imagining the money pools will still be pretty heavy. I would expect this money pool to be really pretty close to $1 million on the pick 4, maybe more. 1.25, maybe somewhere plus or minus 200,000. Let's go with that. 8 race 1.25 miles on the inner turf. It is the New York Stakes, Grade 1, purse of $600,000. At 1.25 miles on that inner turf course, Charles. So far, they haven't run any races like that, so we really don't know what the bias is going to be. Although a lot of times these inner turf course races, especially with that turn right there, could favor horses a little bit on the inside. In race number 8, we're probably going to have a pretty big favorite in the 8th spot here, Charles. Early speed, it looks like it belongs to market segmentation, although everybody has a shot except the probably heavy favorite, Warlike Goddess.
Yeah, this is one tough race. On my pick 5, I put the all button because I'm kind of hoping to beat the favorite. Mm-hmm. Who's going to get the lead? It'd be the 4, probably a 34% chance, probably most likely, and the 3 will probably be challenging that horse all the way around for the quarter pole lead. Simulation odds, we have the 1 slightly under 3-1. We have 20-1 morning line now. Talk about overlays.
That's an overlay. That's one that even if you don't like it, include it on the back end of your trifecta just in case it squeezes into third.
Just serious overlay. Mm-hmm. Slightly the 3, slightly over 4-1, 5-1 morning line. The 5 horse, slightly under 7-1, 15-1 morning lines. Not too bad. It's all because of Warlike Goddess is why all those odds are probably the way they are. Warlike Goddess is definitely worth those odds. I mean, she's worthy of those odds. Let's put it that way. So I'm looking here to beat this horse.
Yeah, I think if you're going to go for long shot, maybe the 5 horse, Virginia Joy, with that nice overlay, has the strongest C-zone score with Warlike Goddess. And maybe like Scary Creation said in that last race, maybe you can sit a little bit in front of Warlike Goddess, get the jump on Warlike Goddess, and see if it can outrun it to the wire there. I have a couple long shots today, Terry says. In the 7th, number 3, Feathers Road. In the 10th, 6, Little Emperor at today at Belmont. In the 8th race, the race shape, is there any way anybody can get by Warlike Goddess? Well, as you see here, everybody wants to be in the back. You don't have a true front runner in here, Charles.
Yeah.
Though the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 5, right in a row, they're the versatile PC type. So one of them will probably go to lead. Yeah, the 4-horse market segmentation. Didia McCulloch. I mean, yeah, McCulloch is a closer. So maybe that one is a little bit of a left arrow horse up in there. That late speed, Charles, if they're all kind of bunched up, could favor that 2-horse. Look at that. 103. A big number there. The late speed, early speed combination in a race that could lack a little pace. Shantisara and Didia market segmentation, the favorite there. Warlike Goddess, a little bit off the path from those other ones, way behind. So maybe the Warlike Goddess might have to run a little bit faster out of the gates than it wants to in here, Charles. You're putting it in 3rd. I have it 1st, but go ahead.
Yeah, in this race, I like the 2-horse. I think it's going to be closing like a bomb, you know. I mean, you got Brown Pratt combo, well bet last time. You get the horse is 2 for 3 so far this year. Horse is, you know, running on all cylinders, so why not? The 4-horse, I do think, is going to get the lead in this race. Probably not a very super comfortable one. Won last 2 times, well bet. The last 2 times also. Brown gets 26%. And, you know, I think the tracks need to do something about all this. You can't have one trainer have 4 horses in a race or 3 horses in a race. This is ridiculous. They should narrow it down just to 2 horses. That is it.
Carl's taking a stand.
Well, I mean, it really is. It's becoming a little silly, by the way. It really is. Every time you got a turf race, it's Brown and maybe 1 or 2 other trainers. That's it.
Nobody else is giving anybody else turf horses.
Well, because he has all the turf horses. Well, I mean, if you have that many good turf horses, you better spread them out in other turf races. That's what I say. The 7 is my 3rd choice here. Has some speed to keep up, maybe. I think you're right. They're going to have to use a little bit more to keep up a little bit closer today. 2nd start after a layoff. Mott gets 20% with that angle. Rosario is the rider. And then the 3 is my final choice. This is one win machine. Let me tell you, this horse has won the last 7 races. Totally fits in this wide open race here, in my opinion. It's Brown against everybody else. So that's how I see it. It's wide open.
Yeah, Warlike Goddess is a winning machine too. 10 of 14, 2nd and 3rd in that mix. Not all that far from winning 9 of the last 10. On all of them have graded stakes races. Clearly a class horse. Market segmentation increased her speed figure in the last 4 races. That is an alpha angle. According to our good friend Barry Meadows in his book, The Skeptical Handicapper, has every chance to make it 5 speed figure increases in a row in your favorite handicapping. Angle to 3rd start after a layoff. Flirting Bridge. Why not throw that long shot in there with that big overlay, Charles? Good shot to hit the board. Stepping in class from her last race, stepping up for sure, but just the neck away from a graded 1 stakes race, a couple of back. So clearly can handle the competition. Why not take the shot there, 20-1? Didia, unbeaten in 4 races since arriving from Argentina, found the winner's circle in her last 7 races. She has incredible late pace at times, but has to be careful not to get too far behind with these. And the Shannon 3, like you said, that one could win too. But I'm going to go to pick 4. I'm going to hope that the 4 beats the 7 over to 5, 7, to 2, 13, and then close it out with the 2, 5, 6, and 7 in the last race. In race number 9, my internet's going a little funky on me, folks. Again, kind of cleaned up a little bit, and now it's a little bit funny. So if I go out, Charles, again, will be Charles in Charge. That was a show not too long ago, right?
Yeah,
it was one of your favorites.
Oh,
so Terry says in race 11, the number 5 Baystorm is his best bet of the day. As far as race number 9 is concerned, in this Acorn Grade 1 Stakes, presented by the Great Jones Distilling Company for $500,000. The way to the winner's circle at 1 mile and a 16th. You're looking at horses that have early speed with 25% going goat photo. We've settled on that. There is a little bit of a rail discount, so Darth Vader might get a little bit dinged up there, getting cracking. 2 through 7 play fair. So far, 8 and out, haven't found the winner's circle as of yet. Charles, again, early speed, taking the tape in 1 out of every 4 races. In race number 9, it looks like the early speed belongs to Good Girl, Bad Habits.
How could you be a good girl and have bad habits? But anyway,
I mean, you might be a good girl and like chew on your toenails or something. I don't know.
oh, geez. Okay. All right. That would be a bad habit, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't take away from the good girlness.
Okay. The 7 horse, yeah, she's got a 58% chance of having that lead at the quarter pole. But, the 2 is going to have probably a say in that with 28% chance of getting that lead also itself. So, I mean, I think between those 2, they're really going to be pushing it. But I think the 5 is going to sit right there and push them along all the way, right on their tails. That's how I see it. When it comes to simulation odds, we have the 1 itself just slightly under 6 to 1. Morning line 10 to 1, not too bad. The 4, 8 to 1, 12 to 1 morning line. The 5, slightly under, about that 3 to 5, somewhere around there, 4 to 5.
Yeah, 3 to 5. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I mean, if you get 1 to 1 on the 5 horse, you're still getting
even money
fair
on
value.
Yeah, it's okay. So
Mhm.
there's your overlays.
And then the Good Girl, the Bad Habits, the best combination of early speed and C-zone score, although pretty mischievous, gets the highest C-zone score in the race. But we'll be probably behind a little bit and have to close in on that. Let's see if indeed that's the way it plays out as we look at the horse's way to the winner's circle. The 2 and the 7, they want to be forwardly placed. That 5, that lone EP, boy, you see a lone EP horse, you better circle that one because they have some versatility. They tend to do pretty well. Early race, looks like it belongs to the Swift, but Good Girl, Bad Habits, Randomized, and Money's Gold. They are the swiftest of the trio in here. The late speed, Frosty O'Toole, but should be well behind Money's Gold based upon that early speed differential. A Seed, a Colt, yeah, I don't like that name for anything. As far as the combination is concerned, 5-point lead for Money's Gold over Good Girl, Bad Habit. A Seed, a Colt, a little bit of an edge over everybody else in there. Maybe Randomized can hang in there if it can get a big enough early lead and see if anybody can run him down. I tend to like those lone EP types, Charles. David Aragona likes him too as the public's choice. I mean, the early morning line choice. My top choice, but you're going to go with the 6 horse instead.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the 6 horse instead. I think all this horse has to do is repeat the Kentucky Oaks race. I mean, and she wins the race. She won last time out, obviously. Tactical speed, I think more on the closing side, of course. So if she just repeats that race, she wins. The 5 horse, I think it has just the right amount of speed to keep up with them, push them along, and have the first jump on everybody for the wire. So this horse ran 2nd last time. You got Todd and Irad combo. And then the 8 horse is my 3rd choice. Ran 3rd last time out. Brown gets 23% first time with a route, going the route, and got Pratt aboard. And then the 4 horse, another one that has some tactical speed. Brown gets 24% when he's 46 plus days rest. Fits with these, so why not? So that's my top 4, but I'm going with an exacta box with the 6 and the 5.
I'm going to go with Money's Gold, head away from being undefeated in 4 races, and the 3 that it won were not close. Good Girl, Bad Habits, love the name right there, is unbeaten in 2 races, winning by 10 and 12 lengths. The most recent back. This is an absolute pretty big step up in class for Good Girl, Bad Habits. But one of the things I've learned throughout the years is you do not know how good a horse is until it loses. It hasn't lost yet. So maybe it does fit here. Pretty mischievous, tied for the highest last race speed figure. 3 maintenance workouts between races, so continued to be fit. Number 2, Randomized, is the other that managed to tie for the top last race speed figure, getting a wire-to-wire maiden win in the 2nd try and a bunch of workouts since the horse might actually be a little bit more fit today than it was last time out. I don't got any bets, Charles, because I used up almost all of my money. 2 races to go in the 10th race. That one is the Belmont Gold Cup Stakes. They're going to run for $250,000. 2 miles, Charles, on the turf. They haven't run any 2-mile races on the turf yet right there. Taking a small chance with number 3 going back there in race number 9 with Fancy O'Toole. First-time Pletcher, Saez, 20-1. Yeah, get some good value on that 9 horse. On that 3 horse for Frosty O'Toole for Scary. Let's see if that one can come home. So 2 miles on the turf, Charles. It's going to be a long race. So they're going to walk out of the gates. They're probably going to try to pick up some momentum as the race moves on and then close out the show with a strong run late. If you are looking for early speed, Tight of the Sea could get way out on front of everybody else and see if they can run it down. But a few others probably keep it company.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if that's the one that's going to take the lead. The 4 horses got a 40% chance of having the lead at the quarter pole, but you got the 5 that's going to have a say, and you got the old timer channel maker that's been around forever. It seems like,
and a nice overlay there too.
He has some decent speed for being 9 years old. Let me tell you, he's still running very well. So I think one of those 3 is going to have the lead. When it comes to, like you said, overlays, the 3 has probably a very nice overlay, almost 2-1. Got 8-1 morning line. I think you will get 8-1, by the way. The 5 is 4-1. You get 10-1 morning line. And then we got the 7. 7 slightly under 3-1. You get 6-1 morning line. Not too bad. So
again, the C-Zone scored dark green for just about everybody with Channel Maker and a Cibolian. Those 2 are about the only 2 that don't have a little bit of color in there. Barbados, probably a bit of struggle there too for the 1 horse. I don't really know what you're going to do with the way to the winner's circle here, but in the way to the winner's circle, you do see it's a pretty balanced race. There is one in there all by itself. I do like those ones by themselves. Tartini, the 9 horse. But if you are looking for some early speed, the blank ones are foreigners that don't have any racing history over here yet where we got any data. Cross Border, the 12 horse, could be the one that gets up on the lead. Actually has a little bit of late speed to it too with that 12 horse. 85 points. Strong Tide, the 5 horse scoring the highest. Amazing Grace, the Gray Wizard popping up in there. I guess, these races are always kind of competitive, Charles, but it does look like there's maybe 4 or 5 of them that have a combined pace edge over the rest, with Cross Border scoring out the best. A 2-mile race, anything can happen, Charles. What do you think will happen?
Well, I think the 1 is going to win this race.
But you have the 2 as your top picks.
Yeah, the 2.
Your computer's messing you up again. Who gets the blame this time?
I was looking at race 11. The 10 here, and the 10th race, the 2 here is bred for this 100% to go this distance on the grass. Loves going long races. You got Appleby Buick as a trainer, a jockey combo. How much more things do you want going for this horse? I think everything's pointing for this horse to do well. The 7 is my second choice. Ran even last time out. Definitely should like this distance. Clement and Rosario as the combo. They're always great as a combo. I have the 13 as my third choice here. This one will be closing pretty strong, I believe. Second start after a layoff. Motion gets 15% with that angle. And you got Johnny V aboard, so he'll definitely have this horse in the right spot at the right time, hopefully there. And then I'm gonna hang on to that old timer there to have a piece of this pie. He's still got some fight in him. He's still got some speed in him. To steal this race, and Luis Saez is back aboard on this horse. He's won with this horse before, so why not? The old timer's going out in the blaze of glory here this year.
Oh yes, celebrating old timers. We old timers need to stick together, horses and humans. Again, on this 2-mile turf race, I think the 2 horse is probably the one to beat too. When you look at the times that the horse ran over in Europe on firmer footing, it did like that. He has a solid track record on that good surface. And this is Charles Appleby was going to have a second horse in here, but this is the one that I think he put his better jockey on, William Buick. Number 5, Strong Tide, finished third in this race last year after giving up the lead late. Appears to be in better form this year than he was last year. Should be at or near its best in the third start after a layoff. The Great Wizard, the 13. I like him there. Ran the highest last race speed. Figure race internals from start to finish. His resume says he should be at least as good in round 2 after some time off. And then finally, Amazing Grace, the 7. Won her first race after coming from Germany, and the German horses are showing a little bit better. Also raced in France before that. Joel Rosario rode this horse in its debut, got off in race number 2, won the debut, gets back on today. So let's see if they can repeat that winning combination. Again, no bets for me here, Charles, because I'm out of money, but not really. I saved a little bit for race number 11 because I felt like race number 11.
Yeah, I had $3 left, so I just put a double with the 2 here on top of my one in the last race.
So Scary Creations in the 10th race is going to go a $2 exacta box, $10 exacta box, excuse me, with the 2 and the 13. So that would play out pretty well for both of us, Charles. You'd get your double, and we'd have the 13 in our picks too. Mm-hmm. The last race on the beginning of the Belmont Stakes weekend is the 11th race. That one is the Intercontinental Stakes, $200,000 grade 3 race. This one is going to be 6 furlongs on the inner turf. We do have a little bit of history there, as we talked about a little bit earlier. 10 races so far. 4 of them were won going wire to wire. The others were probably more off the pace, tactical speed to closer types. Strong inside 3 bias, 4 through 7 under par, 8 and out. Play fair. Speed does matter, Charles, particularly inside speed. So if you're looking, well, there's plenty. Everybody's got a shot, but the inside 3 do look like the fastest of the group.
Yeah, it definitely does. You got the 2 here as 26% chance, but the 5 has 27% chance of having that lead to get the quarter pole. So those 2 horses are really going to be winging it, but you possibly got the 1 and the 3, the 3 with 19% and the 1 with 13%, pushing them along pretty good. So I see, like you said, a decent pace here. When it comes
to get hot.
Yeah, it can. The simulation odds here, we have the 2 slightly under 6-1. We got 6-1 morning line, and then the 3 even money at 15-1 morning line. There's a nice overlay, and that's it when it comes to overlays.
Yeah, and then for the final time today, and I don't want to jinx myself, so I was going to say something, but I won't. Again, you do see this race kind of weighted towards the backside. So horses that do get to the front over here, the 2, 5, and 8, could have a tactical advantage over everybody else. 6 horse, Amy C, going good. Clitheroe, Bubble Rock. Yeah, everybody's got speed except the 4, which is exactly what the simulation showed us. The late speed numbers belongs to Bay Storm, the 5 horse, which could get an ideal trip there, Charles, sitting behind a little bit of speed, using those late legs to put together the top early pace, late pace combination over Sarah Harper. Going good. Bubble Rock, the 5, 2, 7, and 8. Maybe you'll find the winner in that group. Charles, you don't think so?
No, I like the 1's chance of the way it's going to set up, I think the 1's going to be in the catbird seat, sitting there 3rd or 4th, real close to the leaders, and he's going to pounce on them right around that turn. So I think he's in the perfect spot. He's got tactical speed, ran 2nd last time. 3rd start after a layoff, which Mott gets 14% with that angle. And like you said, the rail gets 30%. So why not? And then the 7 horse is my second choice here.
The one thing that concerns me about the 1, though, Charles, is this 6 furlong race on the turf, which is what kind of concerns me, is that it's not a early speed type, and it could get shuffled and then have a difficult time on those tighter turns coming home. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, you have a point there, but I think he has enough speed. I don't know. I think he keep very close to these horses and make one big run. The 7 is one of them that I believe has more speed than the charts even show on this thing. It won last time out. The horse's 3rd start after a layoff. Cox gets 22% with that angle. I even think that horse might even be pushing it along pretty well. The 6 horse won the last 2 times, cuts back a distance today, gets Pratt. And then my final choice is the 8. It ran 3rd last time out. Got some tactical speed there with this horse. Another one that should be coming in late. And you got a Franco Cox combination there.
For the last time today, my thoughts. Bubba Rock, neck away from winning the last 3 races, including her last race at Belmont, where she's unbeaten in 2 tries on the the Empire State grass. Baystorm, the 5-horse, is also a fan of the Elmont, New York course. 3 wins, a second and a third, and 5 attempts on the turf show course. She ships in after a solid effort at Churchill and could be better in round 2 after a 3-month rest. Number 6, Amy C. is one of our favorite types, at least one of my favorite types of horses to bet on, Charles. It's all or nothing on the grass. 4 wins, 8 races, typically leads to better odds. So we'll see if that's the case. She's won 3 or 4 of her last races. Nice bullet workout in between. So can continue in that sharp run. Sarah Harper, the 2-horse, closed at 5.5 furlongs, Charles, in her last with one of her better performances. Going to go a little bit longer to 6 furlongs today. That extra half furlong could be a difference maker for Sarah Harper. Trifecta 5, 6, 7 with the 5, 7 with the 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7 for my last $6 of the day. Our $100 completely spent. Here are our total picks for the day, Mr. Charles. So far, race number 1 and race number 2. Race 2 is in the books too, right?
Uh-huh.
So in race number 1, do you remember who won race number 1?
6.
1. And then in the second race, the 1 horse. So 6 and 1. There we go. Yeah, the 1 horse came storming from a bad break. I remember that. If you haven't had a chance to, Charles, you have only used 94 of your dollars. So you got $6 left, Terry says. He likes to do that. In the last leg, Scary Creations likes to clip the roll at 15-1. Graham Motion, why not? And then got a whole bunch of picks here from Kais Feisy. Make sure you screenshot that, folks, if you're interested in Kai's picks. And we're always interested in everybody's picks. We always like to know what everybody's thinking. We do know that Philip Perkins, Niran Pola, and Anna Rosario were all thinking we did a good job because they gave us a thumbs up on Facebook. Unfortunately, we cannot see who gives us thumbs up on YouTube, but we can see the thumbs up. We greatly appreciate them because it helps us a little bit with their algorithms. Our goal is to get to 10,000 subscribers on YouTube ASAP. We'd like to get that done in 2023. If you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, follow us. We always have a ton of content. Monday, I will be back on Tuesday and Monday and Tuesday with Terry for Parks. Wednesday, back with Charming Charles, probably Horseshoe Indianapolis. Thursday, we'll do Belmont, provided it doesn't get smoked out. Tom and I will be back on Friday for the Foreign Fridays. And then the week after that, it's going to be the Royal Ascot. So Tom and I will be getting up early in the morning, covering the Royal Ascot every day. We'll have our thoughts there. And last time, Tom had like an $860 exacta. So hopefully we got some more bombs. And I think we did pretty good at the Royal Ascot last year. Charles, one final thing. If you haven't had a chance to, please go over and visit horseracingtoday.net. A lot of good content, including the crazy time a 5-year-old horse won the Preakness. So it's one of those bets that you can make with your favorite horse player friend and say, hey, can you name the 5-year-old who won the Preakness? They'll laugh at you. Say, I'll bet you $20 a 5-year-old won. And then you just won yourself $20 by referring to this article from Ronaldo. You can also catch Chase Ellis's first article with us in terms of who he thinks the trifecta might be for the Belmont Stakes. Any final thoughts, Charles, before we wrap it up today? I'm just grateful my internet didn't completely conk out on me, because for the whole show, it was at 1 bar. And that's when I said, I'm not going to say anything and jinx myself, because I was going to say, hey, so far the internet's held up, but it's held up.
Well, you did freeze a couple of times, but it was nothing major. I still could hear you, and then you pop back in. And Terry said I had $6 left, so I'm going to go $6 in this race coming up. Race number 3, 6 over the 2, ice cold, $6.
6-2 ice cold for Charles in race number 3.
Yeah.
All right. Any final thoughts besides spending your last $6 burning that hole in your pocket?
Why not? It was burning that hole big time, just like those fires are burning in Canada. Everyone stay safe up there in New York if you're up there, or even some of the other states real close to New York. We got a little bit of the smoke here in Kentucky, but not too bad. But I think it's going to be a great day tomorrow. Everyone, I hope you all have winners out there, especially for the Belmont race and stuff. So that's it. That's all I got to say.
Yes, indeed. So again, make sure you head over to Guaranteed Tip Sheet to get all of today's picks, all of tomorrow's great card at Belmont, including the Belmonts. They got the 9 stakes races tomorrow, and a lot of them $2 million. We got the $1.5 million Belmont. You got the $1 million Metropolitan, I think, and then so a lot of money at stake. Going to be big wagering pools. Make sure you get, not always going to be perfect, but I assure you 100% prepared, because everything that goes into our picks here goes into the picks over there as well. Again, use the link down in the description below. If you're going to do any baseball, make sure you check out Picks with the Professor. There's a link in that description as well. When you win some money today, head on over to Winning Touches, another link in the description today, where you can go ahead and get yourself some great horse racing memorabilia. Till we get back together on Monday, may all your picks today at Belmont, including tomorrow at the Belmont Stakes, and may you get God's grace and God's favor. And no matter what you do, Charles, we hope it ends up in
the winner's circle.
And of course, as the show ends, my internet goes to full force. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend. Looking forward to joining you with Terry on Monday.
See ya.